makeover for Eriston Teachers Training College. Concerns of local show promoters are being entertained, and in sports, India grinds slowly towards putting the game beyond the reach of the West Indies.
Credible, balanced, committed. This is the CBC Evening News.
A very good evening to you. I'm Pearson Bowen. This is the CBC Evening News. Prime Minister Frendel Stewart says Barbados remains committed to the free movement of CARICOM nationals. Speaking to the 32nd Heads of Government Conference in St. Kitts last evening, the Prime Minister noted that based on the findings of the Secretariat's appraisal report, Barbados was one of only 3 members to set up the National Accreditation Council. Mr. Stewart revealed that up to the end of 2010, 752 skills certificates had been issued to CARICOM nationals. He added that up to the end of 2010, 1,777 persons had been granted indefinite stay in Barbados, with 77 moving under the rights of establishment category. Mr. Stewart also revealed that in 2010, just over 173,000 CARICOM nationals were admitted to Barbados, while only 651 had been denied entry. He said, while we will open our doors to our CARICOM neighbours, it must be done within the law.
Barbados has been totally frank with our CARICOM colleagues in assessing that while we support the ultimate goal of complete unrestricted freedom of movement, we can only hope to attain it through a phased and managed approach which does not strain the absorptive capacity of those countries which are the principal recipients and produce severe skills deficits in those which are the principal exporters. We've also been frank in our concerns about the matter of contingent rights, the absence of the notion of bilateral reciprocity in the discussions thus far, and the need to recognize that the lack of standardization of offer with regard to social services is a major difficulty.
Meanwhile, CARICOM Chairman Dr. Denzel Douglas, Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, has suggested that the next 6 months will be a trying time for CARICOM nations.
The sizes of our respective nations, combined with our special history, have resulted in our nations not having the requisite sources of capital internally to fuel the levels of economic growth and job formation that we seek. We are well managed. We are stable. We are fully functioning democracies. But our ability to attract foreign investment in the short, medium, and long term, therefore, will remain key despite the economic instability currently being experienced in many nations that have traditionally been sources of investment capital for our region.
A stinging rebuke tonight for the Barbados Light and Power Company. It's coming from the General Secretary of the Barbados Workers' Union, Sir Roy Trotman. He's condemning what he calls the indecent haste with which the company has moved to raise electricity rates.
Light and Power, and hence the immediacy, I would call it the indecent haste with which the company has moved to push up the price of energy to the consuming public of Barbados, even where they have an increase in the level of consumption generally, and even where they have, in 3 months, made a profit of $42 million, a profit.
Sir Roy is calling for government's intervention in the matter.
Where the smaller shareholder, the government of Barbados, may have to have an extraordinary shareholders meeting to say that the government has a further responsibility beyond that of shareholder as a guardian of the welfare of the people of Barbados, and that it cannot allow anybody, however Goliath he might feel he is, we can't allow anybody to terrorize God's people.
Authorities at the Grantley Adams International Airport in Barbados are tonight reporting that the radar is up and running. Engineers discovered a glitch in the system and worked around the clock yesterday and had it back in operation by 8 last night. Air traffic controllers had to operate by non-radar procedures where the airlines were controlled without being seen by the personnel. A spokesman at the GAIA said operations at the airport were normal today and they encountered no problems. Eriston Teachers Training College is in line for a multi-million-dollar facelift. This was revealed by Acting Prime Minister Ronald Jones as he toured the college following a ceremony for over 300 people taking courses there this summer. It was during that tour that Mr. Jones, who as Education Minister, saw firsthand the need for an urgent upgrade. There were leaking roofs, an outdated library and an inadequate auditorium. Mr. Jones says the improvements will allow Eriston to meet increased demand for training and also support the college's goal of offering a Bachelor of Education degree.
Because we need within the next 3 to 5 years to reach a stage where persons are actually coming into education fully certified as teachers rather than having entered the system based on their CXCs, associate degrees, or degrees for that matter, in other areas of other disciplines. So that is part of that whole general refurbishment. Also, the whole question of accreditation for this institution is important to that as well. All of these things go hand in hand.
The board of the college has confirmed there are funds available for some of the improvements which get started in a matter of months. Mr. Jones says Eriston stands on the front line of education, providing teachers with the tools necessary to shape young minds.
This used to be an institution where we had boarders, both Barbadians who preferred to come on campus, as well as persons from the other territories. That has disappeared over the years, and therefore we have to some extent, some derelict facilities on the compound. And therefore, as part of the overall improvement for educational quality, it means that you're going to have to put in place some infrastructure to carry that educational quality.
Students from the St. Michael's South Central constituency who wrote this year's 11 Plus were given a heads up today on what to expect in their new school environment. The advice came from Parliamentary Representative for St. Michael's South Central Richard Seeley and Senator Andrew Worrell during a transition seminar at the Lloyd Erskine Sandiford Centre. The students were told about the importance of good behaviour and academic achievement at the secondary level. They were also warned about the dangers of bad company and drugs. Senator Worrell says the period of transition from primary to secondary school can present uncertainty and anxiety for the little ones. However, he's assured them that secondary school can also be a very exciting experience.
This is probably a period of time where you're filled with excitement because it looks as though you finish what is oftentimes a major hurdle in your life and completing the 11 Plus exam. And then you look towards secondary school, and for some of you may be excited, for some of you it may be a daunting challenge because you'll be going into an environment where a larger community. But I just want to encourage you and to look towards it with bright hope and optimism because it would be an exciting time.
Parliamentary Representative for St. Michael's South Central Richard Seeley advises students that while academics are important, they should also get involved in extracurricular activities.
I'm not saying that schoolwork is not important. Schoolwork is extremely important and you should make it your priority. But as you go into secondary school now, you will have more opportunities to get involved in some other extracurricular activities that can buttress what you learn in the classroom. Of course, the cadets teaches you about discipline. Playing a sport can teach you about teamwork, and the list goes on.
There is concern tonight about the commitment of some employees in the Drainage Division. It's coming from the Minister of the Environment, Dr. Dennis Lowe. He says it's affecting their performance. Speaking during the Drainage Division's 2010 annual awards ceremony at the Ministry of the Environment, Dr. Lowe reminded workers that in order to effectively carry out their civil duties, they must be efficient. He said efficiency is vital, especially in these trying economic times where increased productivity is important.
I expect everyone, from the director across to the person who may be considered most insignificant I would like to meet that person. But I expect that all of us, the minister, the permanent secretary, the administrative staff, the head of departments, all of us will combine our efforts across our various enterprises to ensure that we give the very best we can.
Dr. Lowe, however, is commending outstanding workers and urging them to keep up the good work. He says employees who continue to excel should assist their colleagues who are falling behind.
I am not going to sit by and allow the Drainage Division to be in any way castigated for things that it should not be castigated for, because I have full confidence in the people who are leading and those who are delivering services. But I would tell you this, for those of you who are exemplars, if you will, of good service, good work ethic, I ask you to pass it on.
We'll take a break here, but coming up we'll also tell you about what's being done to deal with concerns over acquiring entertainment licenses to hold fetes. The concerns of promoters needing an entertainment license to hold fetes this Cropover will be addressed. Culture Minister Stephen Lashley says officials will be hosting a special town hall meeting on Tuesday at 9 in the morning at the Queen's Park Steel Shed to deal with the matter. Mr. Lashley says the entertainment license, which has been in place since 1985, has created some concerns, and this is understandable.
This meeting will be for promoters, for all persons who are planning fetes for the Cropover season and beyond, to ensure that the issues are clarified and that the process for the entertainment license are known to everybody. And more importantly, I have specifically asked the VAT office to come prepared to accept applications and whatever it is that persons want to put to the VAT office to have their fetes, etc., to come prepared to start the process of ensuring that persons can be facilitated.
Mr. Lashley has also responded to some criticism of the National Cultural Foundation's decision to let Trinidadian soca star Machel Montano headline the Cobbler Pot show, as he's done more than twice already. Mr. Lashley, who was a guest on Talk Your Talk this morning, says Montano brings not only a crowd, but lots of marketing appeal.
Machel Montano, his presence in Cropover is very proven as a key box office pull. But more than that, Machel Montano represents an emerging sector of artists and young enthusiastic persons from the Caribbean who continue to have impact not only in terms of Barbados Festival, but festivals all across the world. Machel Montano does not only take part and participate in Carnival, but of course all of the major festivals, and I believe that coming to Barbados, you'll be coming from Canada and participating in the festival there.
Thousands are expected to converge at Kensington Oval next Saturday, the 9th of July, for the Liat Socaholics Outrageous in Red. The Cropover event will see 4 bands, 10 soca artists and several DJs hit the stage at what has been labelled the biggest event of the season. Headlining that show is Trinidad soca stars Destra Garcia, Fayan Lyons and Bungie Garlin. It will also feature the best in local talent. Early bird tickets are $30 and VIP $100. Speaking at the launch, Head of Sales and Marketing here at CBC, Sharon Waldron, said that they jumped at the opportunity for CBC Socaholics to partner with the event.
When Lucille and Dwayne first came to us with this event, we immediately jumped on board with our Socaholic brand. This year is our 7th year, and we are partnering this year with many of the promoters, stakeholders out there in doing some events such as the Outrage Mass Band, Celebration Time Tent, and we weren't doing our own events. So this presented a great opportunity for us to showcase our brand and keep the Socaholics brand alive.
Marketing Associate with Liat, Foley & Tate highlighted the benefits of being involved in the venture.
As a regional airline, we're proud to see the Caribbean integration that's going on with the lineup in terms of the big top artists coming from Trinidad and also our local artists. The is a proud sponsor of the Cropover Festival overall, because we see it as a way to develop not only culture but tourism in Barbados. We're hoping that our role in this event, not only bringing in the artists, but hopefully we will be able to stimulate some travel from our neighboring islands, persons that will actually come and see the show and participate in the Cropover Festival.
Promoter Lucille Moe says the price for the show is tailored to suit these tough economic times.
Entertainment is always an opportunity for a release from those stresses. I don't think people really understand sometimes what a valuable commodity entertainment is, not just locally but worldwide. Now that it's recognized that there are some difficulties with the economy, not just here but worldwide, people therefore will need additional opportunity to be able to immerse themselves in something that is not emotionally stressful.
9 times Calypso monarch of Barbados, the mighty Gabby, is sending an early warning to all contenders for this year's Cropover Calypso title. Anthony Gabby Carter says he's coming with a fresh new tune again, and he expects to capture his 10th title with another little-known bomb of a tune. Speaking on a recording of CBC Radio's current affairs program In the Spotlight, to be broadcast on Sunday morning, Gabby says he's not daunted by the fact that the tune has not been recorded nor publicly aired on radio.
They have a song called Obama Kill Osama that I am very confident will go down well. Perhaps now, because people would start to familiarize themselves with the fact that I am not going to do the run-of-the-mill. I have never believed in the run-of-the-mill. Like I told you about Calypso, when I did Calypso, but when I did make good music, it's different. Each time I come, in that sense, I try to bring something fresh or something different to the table. And I'm not one who will be afraid of bringing it because it's not recorded.
Well, while noting that he will miss the likes of former monarchs John King and Red Plastic Bag, who have opted out of this year's competition, Gabby is promising to give 100%.
I'm not going after to compete once more with the possibility of winning. But the incentive for me is not the car. It's not the glory of holding up your hand and saying I'm the winner again. It's producing top quality stuff.
Just a correction to one of the stories we brought you in this block about the meeting of entertainers those who want to have entertainment events licenses. That meeting is at the Steel Shed at 5 in the afternoon and not 9 as we first reported. So it's 5 in the afternoon. That's 6 o'clock in the evening. Still to come, a look at some stories making headlines across our region. Right now, the Courts Quiz. Who is regarded as the father of technical and vocational education in Barbados? In our Courts Quiz tonight, who is regarded as the father of technical and vocational education in Barbados is late Augustus Rawle Parkinson. Trinidad and Tobago's Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar says she would seek support from her regional colleagues for a fast ferry system that she believes would further strengthen the integration movement. Persad-Bissessar is in St. Kitts for the 32nd Heads of Government Conference and told reporters that a foreign interest, which she did not name, was prepared to launch the ferry using Port of Spain as the base. She said the ferry, if it becomes operational, could cost travelers US $15 to travel from Trinidad and Tobago to Barbados and later to other Eastern Caribbean countries. In Jamaica, the government's decision to offer free tuition at the secondary level plus other changes implemented in the education system over the past 4 years has started to pay off in the polls. The Bruce Golding-led Jamaica Labour Party has now overtaken the previous People's National Party government as the administration, Jamaicans believe, has done a better job with education. Golding and his team have also extended their lead over the PNP as the administration, Jamaicans believe, has done a better job with healthcare. That's the finding of the latest Gleaner-commissioned Bill Johnson poll. A computer glitch is being blamed for dashing the hopes of Caribbean and other foreign nationals worldwide who thought that they had won the chance to become permanent residents of the United States. The U.S. State Department says it has been forced to cancel the visa lottery results, informing more than 22,000 foreigners that a computer programming problem was the reason. The department said the results were not valid because they did not represent a fair, random selection of entrants as required by law. The error was found and corrected, and the authorities are going forward with a new drawing that will be in full compliance with the law. Ahead in the Lime sports world, Dravid and Latchman make it safe for India. Before we get to that, however, here's our tip from Cooperators General Insurance.
This tip of the day is brought to you by Cooperators General Insurance Company Limited. Insurance the way you want it to be.
In the event of a hurricane warning, identify ahead of time where you could go if you're told to evacuate.
Good evening, I am Mark Seal with your Lime Sports World. So far, West Indies have 241 runs to win the second Digicel test at Kensington Oval, as India ended the penultimate day on 229 for 3 in their second innings. With a first innings lead of 11, India batted with care, but also with purpose, after losing the first 50 minutes of the day's play due to rain. VVS Latchman is on 72 and Rahul Dravid made 55, while Fidel Edwards so far has 2 for 58.
That is magnificently bowled, and that's a breakthrough for Rampole. Beautifully bowled. Once more, Rampole again strikes early.
That was good catch, really good effort. Adrian Barrett diving forward. Dravid seems to be unsure. He's probably going to ask the question, was it cleanly taken? But it was a brilliant effort. It's not out. Well, he'll want to remember this shot. Abhinav Mukund. And he's played the right shot to that delivery, short and a bit of bounce, and he got on top of it well. He's played that superbly. Off the back foot, growing in confidence.
Overpitched. That was hit pretty hard. It's a slow outfield, and I don't think he won't.
Oh! No, gone, yes. Beautifully bowled by Edwards. Well, he certainly worked for that. Worked to Mukund over and over with that short lifting delivery.
Dravid finds the gap well.
Caught. Ramnarasawan holds on to it. He looks at Carlton Bow, who came across him, but it's another wicket for Fidel Edwards. And the wall is broken.
Pulls that away.
Oh, playing that little lap shot. He should get a couple, and with it he'll get a half century. Second half century in the match for VVS Latchman, and easily done.
Play starts at 9:30 in the morning, and Kensington Oval will be free for all spectators who want to take in that final day's play. The West Indies Cricket Board has decided to open the gates on Saturday. However, spectators are still to go to the ticket office at Kensington in order to get their pass into the stands. Radio 94.7 FM will still have live coverage as usual. Former West Indies captain Chris Gayle is appealing to the heads of government of CARICOM to do something about the current situation in West Indies cricket. In breaking his silence through a news release today, Gayle described as extremely frustrating and humiliating his omission from the regional side, despite being fit and available. He said he now believes that the board deliberately staged the impression that they wanted him back, but the intention was to always string him along and fool the people of the Caribbean. He also believes he's being punished for the failure of an entire team and also the failure of an administration. The international all-rounder said he played with an injury during this year's ICC World Cup in Asia and had returned to Jamaica to get himself in shape for the home series against Pakistan. He noted, though, that a camp was set up, but he wasn't informed. It was only through a newspaper story that he found out about his omission from the squad. Gayle has made it clear that he has not yet retired from any form of the game and remains available for selection for both Jamaica and the West Indies. More cricket later on. Now on to the Special Olympics. Barbados have won 2 more bronze medals at the Special Olympics World Summer Games in Athens, Greece today. Justin Edwards won bronze in the men's single bocce, while Natalie Daniel placed 3rd in the women's 100 meters. Those medals bring Barbados' tally at the World Special Olympics to 4. We'll take a break here. When we come back, we have World Cup football and Wimbledon tennis. Barbados will be led in the WICB Regional Under-19 cricket tournament by Craig Brathwaite. The West Indies Under-19 skipper was again offered the role to lead the national junior team in Guyana for the July 18th to August 15th tournament. His troops include the former skipper Anthony Allen, Jonathan Drakes, Justin Graves, Neil Brown, Shaim Holder, Shea Hope, Jerome Jones, Kyle Mayers, Shane Paris, Vijendra Prasad, Mario Ramprasad, Amir Thomas, and Chad Williams. The reserves are Kemar Brathwaite, Shane Mosley, Craig St. Hill, and Jamil Stewart. The team leaves Barbados on July 16th. The 25th Sir Garfield Sobers International Schools Cricket Tournament bowls off on Monday with 24 teams. Now, of that 24, just under a third of them will be representing the host nation, Barbados. Organizer Maurice Greenidge, speaking on Morning Barbados, said he wanted to attract more than the 17 international schools registered.
We could use more international teams, but you understand that there's a worldwide recession, and the same complaint that is being made about not having more international teams bears the fact that the international teams themselves are having to cut back. And we have more competition now than we had before. You have teams who can go to South Africa and New Zealand and Australia and bill it, whereas the ones who come here come to a hotel, because we still have the touristic exercise going.
Sri Lanka have evened their one-day international series with England after winning game number 2 today at Headingley by 69 runs. Scores: Sri Lanka 309 for 5 in their 50 overs. England bowled out for 240 in 45.5. Mahela Jayawardene made 144 for Sri Lanka. On the tennis, Novak Djokovic of Serbia has become the new world #1 tennis player after this morning's Wimbledon's men's semi-final victory over Jo-Wilfried Tsonga of France. He now takes on the former #1 Rafael Nadal of Spain in Sunday's final, after Nadal dismissed Andy Murray of Scotland.
Nadal was up against home crowd favourite Andy Murray, and the Spaniard took the second set by 6-2 after Murray had taken a surprise one-set lead. So the match was level, but the Scots' performance began to dip, and Nadal pounced, hitting this forehand cross-court winner on his way to going 2-1 up. Murray tried everything to stop his dream of becoming the first Brit for 75 years to reach a men's final from slipping away. But as well as that odd brilliant winner, he hit 39 unforced errors to Nadal's miserly total of 7. The 2010 champion eventually winning in 4 sets, 5-7, 6-2, 6-2, 6-4. In Friday's other semi-final, Novak Djokovic faced Jo-Wilfried Tsonga, the pair putting on an athletic and at times acrobatic display as Djokovic stormed into a 2-1 lead. Tsonga then pulled a set back, prompting memories of his quarter-final comeback against Roger Federer. But the Frenchman was unable to repeat his 5-set heroics from the earlier rounds. Djokovic winning the match 7-6, 6-2, 6-7, 6-3. And that means he'll definitely be the new world #1 next week, no matter what happens in Sunday's final.
On to football, Japan has become the 3rd team to advance to the quarterfinals of the FIFA Women's World Cup with victory today over Mexico in Germany. The win puts them at the top of Group B, and they've joined France and Germany in the final 8.
Japan clinches a spot in the quarterfinals with a win, taking on Mexico, the 2 shortest teams at this year's Women's World Cup. Hooking up. No score in the 13th minute. Aya Miyama sending it to a far post, but Omare Sawa heading it in for the goal. Just 2 minutes later, Yuki Nagasato to Shinobu Ono, and Ono splitting the defense and scores. Oh no! Swift footwork to get in the open space, and then the strong strike to deliver. You know who's not happy? The keeper's not happy. Giving her teammates the business. There's only so much they can do. Same score, 39th minute, Miyama on the corner kick for Japan, and Miyama finding Sawa once again. second goal of the game as Japan goes on to win this one 3-0. Japan reached in the quarters once in 5 previous appearances. Sawa with the hat trick as they win this one 4-0 to advance. After tying its opener against Mexico, England could neither advance or be eliminated in this game, taking on New Zealand, who could be eliminated with a loss. Amber Hearn to Sarah Gregorius knocks it in for the goal. New Zealand is up 1-0. New Zealand's first ever lead in 8 World Cup games. 63rd minute, England threatening Alex Scott to Jill Scott. Great Scott, they've done it. England ties it up at 1. 81st minute, it's Jill Scott now to Jessica Clark. Lots of real estate to bury that when England takes it 2-1. They get it done in style.
On to sailing. This weekend's 28th Harris Paints Regatta will involve at least 150 sailors. It'll start tomorrow afternoon from Carlisle Bay with the J24 class event.
The J24 class is now the most popular class on the island, and I would venture to say in the Caribbean as far as class racing goes. Barbados has about 14 boats locally, and whenever we have a regatta such as the Harris Regatta, we get some interest from the other islands. On this weekend, we're going to be having a boat from Grenada, Die Hard, skippered by Dr. Robbie Yarwood. We're going to have one from St. Vincent called Saltfish, skippered by Philip Barnard, and possibly a local boat sailed by a Trinidadian crew.
Starting time for the Harris Paints Regatta is 2 p.m. The 2011 edition of the Holford Annual Summer Camp will coincide with the 18th anniversary of the Holford Academy of Sports. And to mark the occasion, the organizers have decided to open the Academy's doors year-round, starting with basketball, cricket, football, and lawn tennis. A separate innovation for the summer camp is a new direction for the tennis program, with the introduction of a coach, Anicia Eiffel. Eiffel is a Barbadian on tennis scholarship in the United States who is presently attending the Nick Bollettieri Terrace Academy. That's the #1 tennis academy in the world, responsible for the likes of Andre Agassi, Steffi Graf, and Maria Sharapova. July 9th is the last day for registration for the June 27th to August 6th camp for athletes between the ages of 6 and 17. Now, registration can be completed at the camp's location, Eriston College, and also at Sports and Games. Well, that's it for sports. We're going to be talking about the BNB on the Business Report.
Good evening, I'm Kent Jerson, and this is the Business Report. Now, some Barbadians will have to pay more cash for their credit. Customers of the Barbados National Bank are facing increases in almost all of their credit card fees from August 1st. They have been notified via letter about the changes. The letter signed by BNB's manager for card services, Sonia Hall Hunt, outlines a number of increases. The annual membership fee for Visa Classic, for example, will be 50% higher, going from $40 to $60, while the MasterCard is up from $35 to $55 and the Gold Card from $80 to $90. Customers will also no longer pay just $20 for replacement cards, which will instead cost $50. Interest rates on the cards are also going up, like the Visa Gold and Platinum cards, which are moving from 20 to 23.5%. Two of the charges that will almost double are the late payment and over-limit fees, going from $40 to $75. Ms. Hall Hunt explains why some hikes are much greater than others.
The fees that have been doubled are the ones that are meant to act as a deterrent, primarily. The ones that have had significant increases will be those that are avoidable, provided persons handle their account as agreed.
She also tells the Business Report why BNB has chosen to raise credit card fees at this time.
The increases came about because of a review that we did of our credit card operations, and it was decided that we needed to increase some of these fees in order to bring us in line with the market.
Customers have been calling the bank about the increases.
Clarification is being requested primarily But generally, I think it's from an information or clarification perspective that most of the calls have been coming to us.
BNB is encouraging customers to use their cards responsibly so that they can enjoy the full benefits while avoiding many of the associated fees. Barbados' emphasis on entrepreneurship is being reflected in the academic programs of the University of the West Indies Cave Hill School of Business. The institution is now offering a diploma and master's degree in entrepreneurship starting from October.
There's a diploma level for those who may be straight out of school and have an entrepreneurial thought and something that they want to get to moving on. Our diploma program will help to hone the ideas that you may have. The master's program is for people who may already have an undergraduate degree and wish to develop their entrepreneurial skills. So what I'm trying to say is that we actually have programs to meet all needs.
Now for a brief look at the stocks, here's a summary of today's trading on some of the region's exchanges.
Very good evening to all, and we recorded cloudy skies and a few isolated thunderstorms overnight here in Barbados. By 6 o'clock though, we got 6.1 millimeters of rainfall out of the activity. During the day we had just 1.4. It was hazy, breezy, and we had some afternoon sunshine. Take a look at the maximum temperature reached. We got up to 29.9 degrees Celsius. The minimum temperature was 24.2 degrees Celsius overnight. The 6 o'clock temperature, it was partly cloudy and hazy at the airport. We went down to 28.2, the humidity 87%, the winds out of the east at 28 kilometers per hour. One tropical wave in the eastern Atlantic, when the satellite photo comes up, that wave is in the vicinity of 51 degrees west, with most of the activity at this time to the south of 14 degrees north of moderate intensity. Our predictions are that the axis of this tropical wave is going to be rolling over the area in another 24 to 36 hours. Now there's this very pronounced southeasterly flow, and the tropical wave that passed through us yesterday, which is presently around 64-65 degrees west, that is generating quite a bit of activity over Puerto Rico. Even though we're having a lot of high-level cloud, there's still some quite a bit of moisture and instability in the lower levels of the atmosphere associated with the tail end of this tropical wave. And of course, it's generating quite a bit of activity also over Puerto Rico. Now, that tropical wave is going to be continuing on its trek to the west. Down here, this is associated with another tropical wave. There's an upper-level trough, which is really enhancing this activity, but we're going to be paying more attention to this tropical wave. As I indicated, it's going to be pushing into the area sometime in the next 36 to 48 hours. Of course, it's going to be bringing a fairly significant amount of moisture with it, and as a result, we're going to be looking at cloudy skies, scattered showers, and the chance of some isolated thunderstorms. And once that moves out of the area, the high pressure ridge is going to be taken over, and we're going to be looking at mostly breezy and fair conditions. I'll be back after the break. Welcome back. Well, this is our picture of what tomorrow is going to be like here in Barbados and the island chain. Moisture associated with that tropical wave moving into the area. Already the atmosphere is moist. There is a certain amount of moisture in the atmosphere. The very strong winds that we're having, that continues to bring in a fair amount of moisture. So once the moisture associated with the tropical wave adds to this, we're going to be looking at cloudy skies, scattered showers, and some isolated thunderstorms. It's still going to be breezy. The Guyanas had a lovely day today, but as I indicated, that strong southeasterly flow is going to be taking most of the action away from them, and they're going to be looking at a sunny conditions tomorrow with some scattered showers, but the orientation is going to take most of the action over the entire island chain. Let's take a look now at our 4-day prediction. Saturday through to Tuesday, scattered showers, the possibility of even some isolated thunderstorms tomorrow. Once the tropical wave clears the area, the one presently at 52 degrees west, we're going to be looking at breezy conditions, but still a few scattered showers expected, and those conditions should extend through until Tuesday. Sunrise here in Barbados tomorrow, 5:36. Sunset will be at 29 minutes after 6. The first high tide, 8 minutes to 4 in the AM. The second, 11 minutes after 5 in the evening. The first low tide, 10:42 in the AM. The second is going to be at 22 minutes after 10 in the evening. Seas, moderate in open water. The swells are still above normal, peaking at 2.5 meters. So we're urging all concerned to be very cautious. The wind flow across Barbados and across the region, east-southeasterly to easterly, 15 to 40 kilometers per hour. Our predictions for Barbados for tonight, mostly cloudy and hazy with showers and the chance of isolated thunderstorms. And come tomorrow, generally cloudy to overcast and hazy with showers. And again, there's the possibility of isolated thunderstorms.